Good day, my little robins. It's me, Beth. Another month has come and gone, which means if you haven't already read the title, you're getting my July favourites / wrap-up video. These videos are so self-explanatory, I'm not going to explain. You know, you've probably watched enough of these on YouTube. Yes. But before we begin, if you'd like to support me and the channel in the future, you can by clicking like to show me some love. You can click subscribe and tap that bell to be notified when I upload on this channel. Enough rambling. Let's just dive straight into my July favourites. Let's start with music, which we always do in these videos, and no albums actually caught my eye this month, so let's just move on to like my YouTube channel, you know, reaction wrap-up. Japan actually got 2 videos this month. The first one was Jupiter, Breath of Heaven. Now this isn't my favourite song by Jupiter, but I love the style and I love the sound, so you know, I can kind of forgive. And the second girl group is K-pop, but it's not K-pop because they're Japanese. It is XG and the song Mascara, which has been on repeat non-stop since I reacted to it. It's really hard because these girls are definitely K-pop, but it's not J-pop, but they're Japanese, but they're like, they speak English. You kind of have to watch XG to understand XG. Talking about K-pop, let's move on to K-pop. There were 4 groups on my YouTube channel this month, 3 boy groups and 1 girl group. Let's start with the girl group. It was ITZY and their music video and song Sneakers. Now, ITZY is one of my favourite girl groups alongside Dreamcatcher, and Sneakers did divide a lot of fans, and I will admit it is a really catchy bop, but I can see where some gripes come from, but I will always support ITZY. I finally went back and reacted to Stray Kids' debut song, District 9, not to be confused with like the really good movie of the exact same name, and comparing that to Circus, these boys have come such a long way, like sound and like style wise, and as I discovered with their debut, they seem to have got like a signature sound which has stuck with them right up until like, well, 2022, and it hasn't got boring yet, but can they keep doing the same thing? The 2 new boy groups on the channel were MCND and the song Ice Age, and Mirai and the song Killer. Now, they both had qualities that I liked in like debut songs. I probably preferred Ice Age more than Killer, but it's really hard to actually really say anything because I want to like react to like 2 recent releases by these groups, you know, just to compare. I have a feeling they've evolved, and like I said, there's enough qualities that I like. Out of the 2, I would recommend MCND. Hollywood Undead represented America twice with Trap God and City of the Dead off the upcoming album Hotel California, which actually drops, I believe, next week, so I will be checking it out on the channel at some point during the month. Hollywood Undead have hit that sweet spot of managing to combine old with new, so yes, I can not wait to see these guys live again. Fingers crossed they come to the UK pretty soon. Moving on to Europe, there were 2 bands that got reactions on the channel. A personal favourite is Amaranth with the song and the video Crystalline or Crystalline. Not my favourite song off the album. You should watch my reaction because I had some comments to say. This was like a nice duet between like the 2 clean vocals, so Elise and Nils. Talking about Nils, the second European band that I reacted to was Dynasty, and the song and the music video for Natural Born Killer. Nils is the lead vocalist of Dynasty. I love his voice. I have fallen in love with this band, and kind of like Crystalline or Crystalline, it is not my favourite song off like the album, but I will listen to it if I have to. That just wraps up America and Europe. Let's move to the good old UK. The UK got some love with Architects and the song and the music video Tear Gas. Now, I'm going to hold my hands up now. I'm a massive Architects fan, but I can agree that it's not the best song they've released and it's not the worst song. I just liked how much fun they were having in the music video. If you are a fan of Architects and you haven't watched this video yet, Go check it out. Yes, it might divide you, but the music video, I really liked it. Moving on to TV land, I didn't actually watch anything on Discovery Plus this month. There hasn't been any new shows recently that have caught my eye, so let's move over to Disney Plus, where I started rewatching NCIS. I didn't realise how many seasons. I don't think they have all the seasons, but they have a lot of the seasons on Disney Plus. And I remember watching this show with my mum years ago, and I also remember watching it like until like 3 a.m. in the morning when I would be babysitting, and like the people didn't have Sky and it was on like channel 5, and it was just like 3 hours of like NCIS. I love Gibbs. That's all I'm gonna say. Also on Disney Plus, and talking about those crime shows, I'm rewatching Criminal Minds because I like crime dramas. That's not a crime. Now on to Netflix, where the bulk of the shows I watched this month, and like a lot of people, I'm watching Extraordinary Attorney Woo. It is such a touching and sweet K-drama. It has such a beautiful story, the cast are amazing, and after one episode, you'll be hooked as well. Sticking in Korea, I watched, I believe it was like a Netflix exclusive variety show, New World, in which 6 famous people, and because I've been getting really into like the Korean like music and like comedy and like all like the K-dramas, I actually knew all 6 people who were on the island. Now, these famous people are on this beautiful island where dreams come true for 6 days. However, everything is not as it seems, and they're actually playing for real money. I will say this again, why can't the West have variety shows or like attempt something similar? Because in recent times, I have just been binging Korean variety shows. Come on, West, take notes. I also watched the limited series The Most Hated Man on the Internet after a bunch of people I worked with and who I know were like, you need to watch this, we've watched it. So I sat down and I watched it, and oh my god, it just goes to show that there are many scummy people on the internet, and when you post something online, even if it gets taken down, it's gonna be on the internet forever. It was such an eye-opening limited series. My last new obsession on Netflix is Blown Away. It is a glass blowing competition. Kind of in the similar vein, you know, the Great British Bake Off, but with glass and fire. Yes, I am one of those people that are drawn to these kind of shows, and there are 3 seasons. I binged the first 2 seasons. Oh my god, I am hooked. I never knew glass blowing was so interesting. In terms of anime, 3 shows actually, you know, crossed my vision or my path the month of July. The first one, I finally sat down and attempted to watch Demon Slayer. I actually gave up with this manga after 5 volumes because it was just not my cup of tea. And guys, please don't slay me in the comments, but I gave up watching the anime because I just can't. It's just an anime that I just can't watch. For me, it's like Attack on Titan. It's overhyped and I don't understand all the hype. On to the second anime, you know, let's quickly move along from like my hating of Demon Slayer. I finally watched Food Wars. Now, I know the plot of this series. I have a lot of friends who have read the manga, and I don't understand how the concept can translate in manga. But then, so I finally sat down and I watched the anime, and oh my god, it should be illegal for like animated food to look so good. You can definitely understand some of like the characters' like, to a degree, sexual reactions to some of these meals, because even I was there like, oh my god, that's beautiful. Don't watch Food Wars on an empty stomach because it will make you hungry, and you shouldn't overeat. And the final anime I watched, or you know, kind of, this is weird because I didn't binge it all in one go, so it was kind of like a slow burn, but my old housemate Kate would be proud of me because I finally hit the 100 episode threshold of Fairy Tail, one of her favourite animes of all time. Yeah, I hit the 100 episode mark. Will I make it past? Keep watching? I'm not sure, because why Does a series need so many filler episodes? That's all Fairy Tail is filler episodes. If I could skip the filler, I would. I actually might go online and see what the filler episodes are, and then if I need to watch them, and if I don't need to watch them, I might just skip to the story, because Fairy Tail has some good story and like character development, but then it's bogged down by all the filler. So yeah, 3 animes I watched the month of July, and that just wraps up my TV favourites. No films caught my eye in the cinema this month, although I do intend to watch Bullet Train at some point in August because it just looks like it's going to be an amazing film. However, I did watch a film on Netflix, and though it was trailered very heavily, it was The Grey Man, and it starred Ryan Gosling, Chris Evans, John Page, how do you pronounce his last name? Reggae John Page from Bridgerton, to name a few, and it was directed by the infamous Russo brothers of Marvel fame. You could not escape the advertising for this, and I'm going to tell you this now. I like action films, and I like spy espionage. This is a film that you shut off. You don't overthink this film, and you will have a good time. If you think too much, it's not the best film Netflix has put out, but it's not the worst. For me, some of the plot and like the dialogue is a little cringy, and the actors do their best with what they were given. Give it a go and make up your own opinion. The final category I want to talk about is video games, and I actually dusted off my old 3DS, and I went on a bit of like a spending binge, and I actually bought 3 games the month of July. The first 2 games I bought were Style Boutique 2 and Style Boutique 3. I know they've got like names attached to it, but I can't remember. And I played these games non-stop when they first came out, and then I probably like traded them away. And as a girl, I dreamed at some point that I could own my own clothes shop, I could run my own boutique, and I'm discovering that these 2 games, you get hooked very, very easily. I'm also realising as I'm getting older, I am a lot better at like my stock management and at putting together more cohesive outfits, not just throwing bits and bobs together. Now, these games do have gimmicks. The gimmick in number 2 is that you are trying to sell tickets to different fashion shows where you happen to be one of the models, and in number 3 the gimmick is you are dressing future idols. They really were like, right, idols are popular. Although I believe the 3rd game came out in 2017, so I guess, yeah, K-pop was on the rise, and they were like, idol culture. We need to throw that into a Style Boutique game. I love the games, and I could happily spend hours just, you know, managing my shop. Before I talk about the last game I bought, I actually do have like a couple more like DS and 3DS games that I did order, but they're not going to arrive till August, so I'll show you guys what they were in my August wrap-up. The final 3DS game that I bought and actually arrived on time is Story of Seasons Trio of Towns. Yes, I already know the whole Story of Seasons Harvest Moon debate and situation. I played Harvest Moon when I was growing up, but nowadays I have been playing more Story of Seasons because I just like the graphics and how they've kind of elevated from the Harvest Moon games. And there was a Harvest Moon game called A Tale of Two Towns or A Tale of Two Cities. That name kind of escapes me, and it kind of had a similar concept to this game, except it's a trio of towns. And so what makes this different from like other Story of Seasons games and even Harvest Moon games is the different towns and all the different residents. I haven't even looked at marriage candidates yet because I'm too busy setting up my farm because I want a nice steady income. That is one difference I am learning now that I am an adult. Back when I was a child, I was all for like the marriage and all for the fun, but now I'm there like, how can I make the most money and how can I turn a profit? And that just wraps up my July favourites. In the comments below, I'd love to hear, you know, some of the things that you guys loved or watched or played or did the month of July. The comments is the place to go. Let's start a conversation. You've heard my favourites and my wrap up. Now let's start a conversation. I'm pretty sure I've just said that or something similar. I really need to like write down these outros because they can be all over the place sometimes, but that's why you come to the channel. You don't come to the channel for like organise, you come to the channel for organised mess. Let's just wrap this up before I continue to ramble. If you'd like to support me and the channel in the future, you can by clicking a like to show me some love. You can click subscribe and tap that bell to be notified when I upload on this channel. At the end of this video, you can check out my last 2 videos or playlists, depending on what mood I'm in when I'm editing this. Until next time, I'm Beth. Goodbye.